Welcome to Death Holler. Do you like scary movies? Welcome to Season 3, Slash or Pass. There will be laughter, tears, tender moments.
Jason, my special boy.
But most of all, screams. Remember, when you're in Death Holler, listener discretion is always advised. We hope you have a killer time.
Alrighty, it's out there. It's making the rounds. The Exorcist Believer trailer. We got to discuss it. What do you think about this? You're the one that gets creeped out more about demonic films with your background. I want to hear your take on it.
Reverend, it doesn't look like I want to see this movie. Not because it's going to scare me either.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's where I'm at with it.
Am I still going to watch it? Yes, I'm going to watch the movie. I'm not sure if I'm going to see it in theaters. It depends on the children. I think they're going to want to see it in theaters, so I'm probably going to have to take them. But I was watching. I was like, this doesn't look amazing.
It played before the Oppenheimer movie,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my wife were watching it, and we looked at each other and we laughed. That's our reaction to it. I mean, when it got to the part in the trailer, this gets, there's all those people that made the comment about Halloween Kills, rightfully so. I'll agree with them on this about Evil Dies Tonight.
Dead Before Dawn.
Dead Before Dawn. They did the same thing in this. The blood in the body, the blood in the body, the blood in the body. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And those kids, I made this comment because somebody I work with, Emily, she showed me the posters for the movie and had the two girls on there. And they got the super out there, Reagan look to them, like their face is all distorted. And I looked at them and I said what I thought. I was like, that looks like a couple of kids from Eastern Kentucky that's been on too much Mountain Dew.
Hopped up on Mountain Dew. Anarchy! I don't know what I'm saying.
You shut your mouth, old man.
I'm looking at images on Google and okay, but is this racist that they have a young girl of color and a white girl, and they are both the two possessed children, and they look the same in the poster?
They look exactly the same. My wife actually said the two twins, and I was like, honey, they're not twins.
They ain't twins.
They've a sister from another mister or whatever you want to call it.
Somebody's daddy's got some splaining to do, or someone's mama's got some splaining to do.
But they did. I mean, to my wife's credit, they made those characters, those actresses look exactly the same in that makeup.
Yeah.
And it's got like that terrible thing that sequels do sometimes, where if a little bit in the first movie was good, let's just double up on it. So they had one Reagan in the first movie. Hell, let's have two in the remake.
Is that supposed to make it scarier?
Or the sequel, I guess. Yeah, because there's two of them now. And somebody else pointed this out. I think it was on the Unita podcast on YouTube. One of the guys on there, I believe his name's Nick, he was talking about, and this is true, he said the scary thing about the first movie, if you're a real big fan of it, is the fact that Reagan is up in that room, but at any moment in time, you never know if the demon it will stay in that room. Like you keep, like in this movie, they've already showed it. They're out, like they're supposed to be in a hospital, but they're out in a church. They're going to be roaming the streets. Like there's something less scary about that because you've already broke the tension of whether, the demon's going to, so nobody I know of is happy with this trailer.
Okay.
it's across the board. Like if you were a big fan of the first movie, this kind of shits upon that. If you were if like me, you think the first movie's well made technically, but it never really scared you. Like this didn't sell me at all in the movie. Like this new one, like I was just like, oh, they have Ellen Burstyn back, woo, you know, like.
Well, let me tell you something about the first movie, and this says something about me. I am notoriously not the. Maybe it might be people might judge me for having introducing my kids to horror so early, and this is where I'll give myself some credit. My kids were 13 and 15 before they saw The Exorcist. There is some stuff in there kids should not be introduced to. I guarantee you they're not going to have this in this film.
Yes.
Yes.
There was very much a scene that
Yes.
should not be introduced to children.
Absolutely. So is 13 and 15 still a little young? Maybe. But I would say they weren't 6 and 7. They didn't catch it on TV in the middle of the night when they were freaking, 10 years old. The first time they ever saw it was at age 13 and 15. I'm going to give myself some credit for that. I would probably drop my kids off at the theater to watch this. I can guarantee you they're not going to see anything like that I have to worry.
Well, unless they pull like a bait and switch. But here's the thing. There's rumors about this movie that's came out that they did some early test screens of it, and everybody who watched the test screens panned it severely and said they need to go back and do reshoots. I think they have, so they might have fixed some things, but that doesn't start out on a good note whenever your movie is universally just panned by, like the viewers. And the fact that the trailer is not much better doesn't really instill much confidence either. Yeah.
I was color me surprised when I saw that trailer. I was like, oh, okay. Scrolling again, like, all right, no big deal. And I don't know how I saw it, to be honest with you. I don't know if I saw it. Maybe I saw it on TikTok or something, or I was not phased. I was able to sleep just fine that night. So,
but I wanted to get your opinion on it because I was like, if anybody's going to have kind of a reaction to this,
it's going to be me.
It's going to be you. I mean, because like that's your thing. But like I saw it and I was just like, I don't think I'm going to watch in the theater. I'm going to wait and, maybe, rent it off like Amazon or something later down the line or whatever. But my feeling is that maybe even Peacock might have it, like, like a month or so after it's like aired or something or out in the theater.
Which, by the way, anybody listening, if you have Xfinity, you can get the Peacock for free right now. Peacock Premium. So go check that out under your Xfinity rewards. And Xfinity, if you're looking to sponsor a podcast, we are looking for sponsors. We are number 193 on the Apple charts in America. Woo!
Oh, whoa!
We made it to America, everyone. We'll probably be booted off by next week. But you know what? For a time in our lives with absolutely, I can't say no money put in this podcast, but no money towards advertising whatsoever.
Oh, no.
We don't even talk about this. We're ashamed of ourselves.
Well, I don't do it because it might possibly, get me into some trouble at work. But
100%.
That's a whole other thing.
Yes, I understand that. Actually, my boss is listening to this. Hey, Tara. Hey, boo. So, with no money put into advertising, somehow we weaseled our way into the film reviews in America. So thank you to the 14 people that are listening now. 15.
Yeah, if we had a really good soundboard or if we knew how to use one, we would be playing like applause or something right now.
Look at it, works. Oh my God, I have a button. Wow. We do have a soundboard. I just have to put more buttons on it.
I did see a few different movies. I'm only going to go through them briefly. There's one that was it's one of those movies that everybody talked about that was released through Vinegar Syndrome. Vinegar Syndrome releases really shitty movies, but they put them in really cool packaging, so they convince all of us idiots to
suckers.
Buy them. And then we're like, why do we buy this movie? These are both from that line. Shriek of the Mutilated is this really bad 1970s Sasquatch movie. I was actually kind of having fun with it at the beginning. There's a really terrible costume for the Sasquatch, but the way that they filmed some of the scenes harken back to old Universal movies, and I was like, I'm here for this. I'm kind of digging it. middle of the movie, drug like nobody's business. I'm like, okay, you killed all my interest in it. And then the twist at the end of it rolled around, and I was like, and I saw it as soon as it came in, and I'm like, not a bad twist, but you ruined it by the dead middle of the movie. Basically, the reason that Sasquatch is so shitty in the movie is because it's a guy in a suit, literally, and basically this worldwide like elite group of cannibals goes about and like, you know, brings these people like in with these cockamamie stories in like these secluded locations, hunts them down, and then feast upon their body. And it just so happens that the group that we're following is on the hunt for you know, a Sasquatch, and that's their thing that they always do, their little excursion they do. And at the end of it, they eat everybody that they kill, and then at the end of it, when they're having this big celebration, they leave one of the survivors alive, so that they can be the one to spread the story of the Sasquatch to the next group to get them to come on the little excursion. It's like, if you don't do this, you're going to be eat too. So it's like you have the choice, you know.
There's always room for one more.
Yeah. Go watch our review on the you know, the Haunted Mansion. Anyways, so I don't know. The ending was kind of fun. It has this terrible thing in it, though. This is a 1970s thing, if I ever saw it. There is a Native American character in quotation marks in this movie.
Oh, God.
Horribly racist. Horrible. Like, the guy speaks in, like, broken English.
Oh, great.
He looks like a mongoloid, and he's the one doing all the cooking. So he's the, you know, the chef of the cannibals, as it were. But yeah, I don't recommend the movie, just saying. But it was fun for like a few minutes. The severed arm is actually pretty decent. The concept's kind of cool. It's just it was made on a cheap budget. It's like these group of guys go like spelunking for like, you know, shits and giggles. That's, you know, just Caucasian things, as it were. You know, I don't think, you know, anybody else really does that as much as, you know, white people do, but throwing out there. Yeah. Anyways, they get trapped in a mine. And they're down there for several weeks. This beginning of the movie, by the way. And they get to the point where they realize that nobody's going to come after them, or they think that. So they draw straws to see who's going to be the one that gets their arm cut off, so that they can like at least have something to eat. And this one guy pleads with them, because he draws the short straw, not to do it. That that somebody's coming. He knows it. Just, you know, hold off. And they knock him out, and then they cut his arm off, and right after they get through suturing his arm back up, because there's a doctor in the group.
Oh, okay.
They get rescued, so he lost his arm for nothing.
Oh, shit.
So now each one of the members of that group is getting hunted down and their arm cut off, and they think that it's the crazy guy that they cut his arm off for good reason. I mean, you know, if anybody's going to do it, it's going to be that guy. And the end of the movie has a pretty dark twist to it. I'm not going to reveal it because it's actually worth watching for that. But it's a decent movie. It's just it needed a better budget. If there's any movie that could probably redone and done with a higher budget now, like, you know, the remake craze that they go through, I've always said remake, you know, movies that were semi-okay but just needed like better budgets. This would be one of them to do, because they could revamp the story a little bit, make it a little bit more updated, and it would actually be pretty good, I think.
Maybe if we get funded, we can do it. We could
there you go.
Write it, direct it, and star in it.
Well, we could have our own series of movies. Death Holler presents The Severed Arm.
There we go. The better severed arm.
The better severed arm. And then finally, I finally got around to watching 976 Evil, the Robert Englund directed movie. I finally watched it.
I've never seen it.
It's cheesy, but it's fun. I'll put it that way. It's and the funny thing is, it fits into this episode because the guy who did the makeup effects, Kevin Yeager, is the guy who built Chucky, the original Chucky, in Child's Play 1. He was actually working on Child's Play 1 when he helped Robert make this movie.
Shut up. There's no way. When did 976 Evil come out versus Child's Play?
The same year. It was like 1988.
I don't fucking believe you.
I watched the special features. The guy said it. He said he would leave the set of Chucky and come over and supervise for Robert because Robert was his good friend. Because he was also the one that applied the makeup to Robert in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
You got me all fucked up.
So 976 Evil was made at the exact same time as Child's Play 1.
Shut up. I refuse to believe you. I feel like I was at Blockbuster seeing 976 Evil a lot longer than I saw prior than seeing Chucky.
If you look it up later, I'm telling you the truth.
What is it called when you're having that fucking
Mandela effect?
Yes.
Did you watch Shazam at the same time that you were watching all of this with
No.
Sinbad as the
I don't. This podcast is over. I don't know what to say. I'm like, I'm seriously, you got me fucked up right now. I'm like, are you serious right now? Okay, I'm Googling it because I seriously don't believe you.
Well, how about you let these people in while you're Googling and then we can start the show up.
I'll let them in.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Death Holler. I am your host, the Reverend Dr. Death, and inhabiting a creepy-ass doll in the corner is the spirit of my co-host, llareyna. Resorted to possessing dolls to steal children's souls, huh, Urena? Really?
No, it just keeps following me around. I Googled it. 976 Evil and Child's Play. Same year. Okay.
Same year, made at the same exact time. Craziness.
Oh my God. I can't wait to tell my hubby. He's probably going to be like, yeah, I thought you knew. Shut up. No, the fuck I didn't. You didn't know either. You're a liar. Yeah.
The evil doll is a time-honored trope in horror movies dating back to at least 1945 with the anthology movie Dead of Night and its creepy ventriloquist dummy, Hugo. Since that debut, evil dolls have featured in both TV and film. The Zulu doll and Trilogy of Terror, the ventriloquist dummies and Goosebumps and the movie Magic, Annabelle, the Puppet Master films, even the recent movie Megan. However, one evil doll reigns supreme in this subgenre, and it's one of the big hitters in the slasher genre as well. Chucky, a.k.a. Charles Lee Ray, a.k.a. the Lakeshore Strangler. The sadistic, foul-mouthed little bastard that will do anything to get back to a living body. In this episode, we will look back at the first three films to feature the diminutive killer, the Child's Play trilogy. So grab your favorite bowl of sugary cereal, fall back into your favorite beanbag chair, and join us for our coverage of Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. First up, though, if you're enjoying the podcast, we'd appreciate it if you could take the time to like, comment, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you prefer. It helps us get more visibility on podcast listings and helps us grow. Also, consider following us on social media. You can find us on TikTok and Twitter under Death Holler Pod, and we can be found on Instagram and Facebook under Death Holler Podcast. We appreciate everyone who listens and hope you enjoy the show. Attack some bees.
What is that? What is that? What is it? Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Open my eyes!
I was actually screaming, not my eyes this time. I was surprised. This was actually fun. Dolly Dearest from 1991. Taglines: she walks, she talks, she kills.
I think I remember this. I think I've seen this.
This is another tagline. This is where the fairy tale ends and the nightmare begins.
Oh, good God.
It's time to play, ... A doll with a bad attitude.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
She has a life of her own. Now she wants yours.
We get it. Jesus. Oh, God.
Directed by Maria Leese, written by Maria Leese, Rod Nave, and Peter Sutcliffe, who made the story, and then Maria Leese did the screenplay. Music by Mark Snow. Principal players, we have Ed Gale who is the dolly in this, the possessed doll slasher. Little funny thing about this, Ed Gale was in another little movie. You care to guess what movie that was with Evil Doll?
Child's Play.
Child's Play 1.
Wow.
He played the doll in that and in Dolly Dearest. He was also Howard the Duck in that original movie. He was in Spaceballs, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I'm sure he played Station in that. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? He must play the little guy that was like, doing the sweeping stuff in that. The Polar Express, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, one episode. Phantasm 2, and Child's Play, as I said. We have Rip Torn playing Carl Resnick in this, the professor and expert on the Sonsies. It's, you know who Rip Torn is, right?
Yes.
Dodgeball.
Yes.
Played, okay. Imagine him playing a Mexican, because he does in this movie. He plays a Mexican.
Okay. God.
And he tries to do a Spanish accent.
Oh, no.
And it comes and goes. Like, it's there sometimes, and then it's gone. Like,
He could fake a Mexican for sure.
Of course, he was in Men in Black 1 and 2, Beastmaster, Dodgeball, Hercules. He did the voice for Zeus, I believe, in the 1997 Disney film. He was the dad in Freddy Got Fingered. The TV series Ghost Stories, RoboCop 3, and Canadian Bacon.
Canadian Bacon.
I love Rip Torn. He's like one of those character actors that when he comes in a movie, he just brightens it up. I mean, if it wasn't for Patches O'Houlihan, nobody would remember Dodgeball at all.
Yeah, that's true. Patches.
We have Denise Crosby playing Marilyn Wade. She's the mother of the family. You might remember her from a little family film called Pet Sematary from 1989.
Oh, that's a good family classic.
Yeah, she played the mom in that movie, the one that had her like eye tore out at the end.
Yes,
whenever
she was hot in that film.
She was in the movie Itsy Bitsy, The Watcher, Dark Intentions, and Mortuary. We have Sam Bottoms, hell of a name, last name.
Sand Bottoms, as
Sam
in
Bottoms,
like Sandy Cheeks.
Well, it's Sam, S-A-M.
Oh,
sure.
Sam.
I mean, he probably got called Sandy Bottoms
Oh my
before Sandy
God.
Cheeks. He plays Elliot Wade. He's the father of the family, and he's the ultimate white guy. And when I say that, like, this guy can't act. Like, there's scenes in the movie where they tell him it's like, we're gonna. There's some demonic stuff that happened in this, like, crypt over here that's right next to your factory. And he looks at him. He's like, "That's neat." I mean, that's literally what he says to him, and in that inflected voice. He has two modes in this movie. He said, and it's actually fun. It's like one of those Mystery Science Theater 3000 parts of the movie. He either plays "That's neat" and he's like even killed, or he slightly raises his voice and he's like, "Don't you dare do that to me, Linda," or what, that sort of character.
Oh my God.
He's a white guy. That's all I can say. He was
Newsflash, buddy.
Newsflash, buddy. Get the mayonnaise. He was in The Outlaw Josie Wales, Apocalypse Now, Seabiscuit, and The Last Picture Show. We have Chris Demetral playing Jimmy Wade. He's a nerdy, adventurous little brother in the movie. Well, he's the older brother, but he's the little kid. He was in the movie, the TV series Dream On, and in the movie, Sometimes They Come Back. That's a pretty good one.
I can't wait to review that one. What season is that? Zombie season? Nay.
That, or if we include it in Stephen King season.
Oh, Stephen King season. Okay.
We know there's enough to do that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, no, Stephen King season for sure.
Candace Hudson plays Jessica Wade. She's the child that is targeted by Dolly Dearest in the movie. She's the precocious little blonde girl in the film.
Yeah.
And the only thing that she ever did was the Land Before Time series. She played Sarah's voice.
Aww. Sarah was a bitch. Kind of was.
Yeah, I think that's true. I'm trying to remember which one that did the voice for one of those characters died at shortly after making that movie. I want to say it was the one that did Ducky's voice, right?
I don't know. Hold on.
I think one of them did the voice, died shortly after. Hopefully it wasn't Candace, but I could be wrong.
It wasn't. I don't think so, because she was in like a few of the films. It wasn't Kenneth Mars that played Grandpa Long, was it? I mean, he died in the film, like, because he was the old dinosaur.
No, it was one. It was one of the main characters of the film. I want to say it was Ducky, that the voice actress or voice actor. I think it was a woman that played the part of Ducky. But
I'm checking to see who played Ducky in the second film. No, it was the same girl. And then The Great Adventure Valley. I don't know, Reverend. I don't think it was Ducky.
Okay, well, we'll have to Google that later whenever we're doing some other stuff.
Oh, wait, I wasn't looking at the 1988 one, so maybe Ducky. Yeah, it was Ducky, because the little girl that played Ducky in the first one was not in the second, third, or fourth. So I think, I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the oldest film.
Yeah, I was thinking that's who it was. I was
Jesus Christ.
Kind of a sad story, but that's for another time. That was if you want to talk about movies that absolutely destroyed our generation, The Land Before Time is one of those movies.
Yeah, you will be fucked up, dude.
Like watching Littlefoot's mom die. I mean, that's a defining moment for most kids of our generation.
Her dad shot and killed her and the mom?
Yeah, it was bad, yes, it was a bad story.
Oh shit. Okay, well, that's worthy of Death Holler.
Brass Adams plays Bob Larabe. He's the archaeologist at the beginning of the movie that gets his ass handed to him by the Antichrist, I guess is what it is. Lupe Ontiveros plays Camilla, the housekeeper for the Wade family. And I didn't realize this. Remember when I was talking about Candyman Day of the Dead and Abuela in that movie?
Mm-hmm.
She was an actress in other movies. She played Camilla in this movie.
Okay.
It was the same woman. As soon as I saw her, I'm like, wait a minute, that's the one lady that we just saw in Candyman.
Wow.
She was also in Born in East LA, Cheech and Chong's next movie. Like I said, Candyman Day of the Dead, As Good as It Gets, and Selena. She basically played the stand-in standard Mexican housekeeper in a lot of stuff. Just saying.
Yee.
Will Gauthier plays, that's probably not how he pronounces it, Louise, the employee at the doll factory, and has a weird attraction to dolls. Like he deserves dying in the movie because like he sees Dolly Dearest, which looks like a little girl, mind you, kind of like an uncanny valley little girl.
Yeah.
And he looks at it and he's like, "Ooh, you're pretty," and like he says it in a way it's like, "Oh God, dude, like you're a pedo." Like, okay,
yeah.
He was in Bloody Wednesday and then Stand and Deliver. So synopsis for this movie. Looking to strike it rich, Elliot Wade has bought a doll manufacturing facility in Mexico and is bringing his family along for the ride. Unfortunately for all of them, ancient Mayan ruins housing Satan on Earth are located literally next door. A dumbass from the local university has unleashed an evil spirit, and that spirit has manifested itself in the bodies of all of the dolls in the rundown factory. So there's not just one doll in Dolly Dearest. It's all the dolls are evil in this one. There's like 5 or 6 of them. One of the dolls will even try to claim the body and soul of the Wade's youngest child. The mother from Pet Sematary has to deal with another evil child. Elliot Wade gives no fucks about anything, and Rip Torn plays a Mexican and doesn't even attempt to nail the accent. To Dolly, slaughtering adults is child's play, and that's actually a tagline they used for this movie.
They Rip Torn that from the previous film.
Well, here's the thing. It was unofficially known. I've got this in the trivia. It was unofficially referred to during like production as Child's Play 4, I believe.
Really? Ew.
Yes. Yeah. So it's got some links to Child's Play.
Okay.
Body count in this movie is 4 or possibly 8 plus. We'll get to the reason why in a second. We have Bob Larabe, who's crushed under a stone door to the tomb by the evil Sanzian spirit as it escapes from its earthly body. Camilla is electrocuted in water well in the basement by Dolly. Louise has his hand sewn and then stabbed by a sewing machine.
I remember that scene.
but then he dies of a heart attack because he sees all the dollies around him.
Oh.
The first dolly that's been trying to possess little girl gets destroyed by a shotgun blast from her older brother. And he has a pretty good line in the movie too. Whenever he does it, it's like, eat this bitch or something like that. It's one of those type lines. And then the dollies, that's where I get the 8+, from. They get blown up inside the doll factory by the Wade family and Resnick at the end of the movie. That's how they get rid of them, is just blow them up. So trivia, this is the movie that this is weird. There was a story in 1994 about this 12-year-old girl named Katie Romanek who was abducted, and this just happened to be the movie she was watching when she was abducted. Like, I don't know why this was a thing that anybody knows, but that was like information that got out there whenever they were like, revealing, the facts of the case. But thankfully, shortly after a statewide manhunt, they found her 25-year-old kidnapper shortly after they aired like some episode of FBI Files or something like that.
Wow.
So they caught him. This movie had a brief theatrical run in the Midwest before its May 1992 video release, so it did technically go to the theaters, even though it was mainly a released video type movie. This movie is often considered a clone of Child's Play from 1988, both being part of the killer doll genre, and then Ed Gale played the part of both dolls in both movies. In this film's super early days of working, it was under the title Child's Play 4, and very rare promotion posters were actually titling the film Child's Play 4 as well, but they changed the name Dolly Dearest before it hit theaters.
That's insane. I do like that it picked Dolly Dearest instead. I think it suited it better, and you don't want to associate yourself with Child's Play. This wasn't, in my opinion, from what I don't remember this being a bad film. I think I watched it multiple times.
It's not terrible. Like the lady who plays the mom, I mean, the same mom as in Pet Sematary, she's actually a good actress.
Yes.
She does her part. Rip Torn is interesting as the Mexican character, even if he does go in and out of the accent. The dad sucks, but I mean, he's not in the movie that much. And the two kids are good. Actually, the little girl in this movie is damn good. There is a scene where she's in her little playhouse out back, and Dolly Dearest is like possessing her at that point. And like, she's really bitchy to her mom when she first shows up. And then Dolly whispers something to her, and then she changes instantly. And she's like, "I'm sorry, mommy, please don't." And like, the emotional manipulation that she's doing on her mother, at the same time, the look on her face being like almost pure evil. I'm like, this kid can fucking act. Like, she was like, she knew what she was supposed to be doing in that scene. Like, it's perfect. And the actual doll is not bad. Like, there's very much Chucky vibes to the way that they move the face and like how it looks and everything else. So, I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
This is actually one of those movies that Vinegar Syndrome also did a deluxe treatment on, but it's one of the few movies they did that's actually worth a little bit more of a deluxe treatment. Nick Cage rating, I'd give this one. I'd give it Con Air. I mean, there's some bad accents going on, or a lack of an accent from one of the main actors, and it's technically not the greatest movie, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah,
I mean,
Dolly Dearest for sure is fun to watch.
It's one of those movies that if you just want to get with your buddies and just have like drink some beer, partake in other adult, things, like smoke a little something, whatever, and watch it. It'd be one of those movies that'd be a good time to watch,
I thought you were talking about other adult things for a minute. I was like, Reverend, I
don't think you'd be banging to this movie, but hey, I mean, people are weird. That's all I'm going to throw out there.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, I recommend it. It's actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it's good. And they made the doll look real evil. Like, you think there's some scenes where Chucky looks evil? Definitely check out Dolly Dearest.
Oh yeah, whenever that doll starts really leaning into the I'm an evil spirit, like the way the face starts looking, it's pretty evil looking. But moving on to our main discussion, Child's Play from 1988. Tagline: He wants you for a new best friend.
He's your friend to the end.
My name's Chucky. Directed by Tom Holland. Written by Don Mancini, who did the story, spoiler alert, Don Mancini is one of the few writers for a series that has always did the writing for his movies. Like,
Oh, wow.
I mean, that involve his character. Like, they're always going to have Don. He's kept creative control. I love that for him.
Wow.
Don Mancini, John Lafayette, and Tom Holland did the screenplay. Music by Joe Renzetti. Made for a budget of $9 million. It made $44.2 million.
Holy fuck. I mean, this movie's iconic. In terms of dolls, this movie.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any character, that's what I said. If there's any character that anybody knows of as the evil doll, I mean, yeah, they'll list Annabelle, they'll throw out some others, but Chucky always gets mentioned. I mean, you have to. I mean, he's iconic.
Yeah.
Principal players, we have Alex Vincent playing Andy Barclay, the final boy. Speaking of good child actors, goddamn, Alex Vincent is I mean, he's the scene where he's crying in this movie because he's locked up in like this like mental institution and Chucky is trying to break in. I mean, you felt that for that kid. Like he really he really was acting in this movie like big time. And I mean, he's got those vibes about him too. Like he feels like a little kid. I mean, like sometimes you'll watch like some of these movies and they're supposed to be playing, and it is a kid, but they're playing a part and they're acting too adult. I mean, no, he everything about him is like a little child. You would think that a little kid, like he's naive, like a little kid would be. Like, I mean, he's a little too innocent until, you know, he realizes that, you know, that he has his innocence removed or whatever through the events of the movie. It's good.
Yeah.
He was in House Guest Massacre, Dead Country, Child's Play 2, obviously. He was also in Curse of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, and he's in the Chucky TV series.
Jesus Christ.
Don Mancini has, I mean, I might have this in the trivia. He says that he prefers working with the same actors and actresses because once you get a rhythm built up with them and you know what they can do, especially if they're really good, and he really respects Alex Vincent for his acting.
Yeah.
He says that then it's almost like shorthand, like you can tell them things and you'll know instantly that they'll take care of them for you. So
yeah,
that's why you keep seeing the repeat in the characters in his movies. We have Ed Gale again, uncredited, plays Chucky. He was the stunt actor, the little person, you know, during some of a lot of the moving scenes. We have Brad Dourif playing Charles Lee Ray and does the voice for Chucky in all the movies.
I can't believe Mark Hamill does it for the series.
Do they have Mark Hamill doing it for the series?
I think so. That's what it's showing up on. What do you call it? It's showing up on Google right now. But anyways, please continue.
I wouldn't believe Google. Google shows like stuff they're probably linking Mark Hamill from where he did the remake.
Oh, remake. It was the remake.
Yes.
Ugh, God, that Chucky doll is not even scary.
That movie's not that good either. I mean, and we're not going to be covering that movie, but we will mention it when we're in the second half of this Chucky coverage.
Yeah.
Brad Dourif's been in a lot of good stuff. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, Deadwood, the TV series, Malignant, Halloween 1 and 2 from the Rob Zombie ones, 2007, 2009, Critters 4, Body Parts, Graveyard Shift, The Exorcist 3.
Jesus.
God, he's amazing in The Exorcist 3. If you want to see a good, like, I'm recommending this to you right now. If you've never seen it, Llareyna, watch The Exorcist 3.
Okay.
It has one of the best jump scares I've ever seen in a movie. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Ugh, I'm not ready.
And of course, he's been in every Child's Play Chucky property except for the remake because, I mean, he is the voice for Chucky.
Yeah.
Like, I mean... Catherine Hicks is playing Karen Barclay, the Andy's mother, and she's a widower in the film. She was in Seventh Heaven. She was the mom in that TV series.
Yes.
She was in Star Trek IV: The Voyage Home. She was in Peggy Sue Got Married, and she was in another horror film that actually, I believe this one had Ralphie from A Christmas Story, Peter Billingsley, called Death Valley from 1982. That's kind of a slasher. It's also kind of a human horror type movie, if from what I understand. We have Chris Sarandon in this movie.
Jack
playing
Skellington.
Mike Norris. Yes, I was getting ready to say, if you don't know who he is, you ain't going to Hot Topic anytime soon. I mean, they won't let you in. Of course, he does the voice for Jack Skellington. He is also Prince Humperdinck in The Princess Bride. He played Jerry Dandridge, the vampire in Fright Night from 1985. He was actually did a cameo in the also good Fright Night 2011 remake. And he has done a ton of voiceover work, Kingdom Hearts being one of them.
Oh, my God, yeah. I bet you my son would hear him talking, be like, that sounds like Jack. Well, I mean, he's a little exaggerated when he does Jack, but still.
We have Dinah Manoff playing Maggie Peterson, who's Karen's friend. She was in Grease, Ordinary People, and State of Grace. And the funny thing about Dinah Manoff, whenever I watch this movie, she reminds me a lot. I think it's Annie Potts that she reminds me of.
Yeah.
But she reminds me of somebody that I saw in a ton of movies back in the 80s, or TV shows. I don't know who it is, but when I saw her, I was like, wait a minute, haven't I seen her in a ton of stuff? And when I was looking through her IMDb, I'm like, no, not really. I don't know why she's so familiar. But anyways.
Yeah.
We have Neil Giuntoli playing Eddie Caputo. He is, of course, the guy who left poor Charles Lee Ray to die at the beginning of the movie. So, of course, he gets his. He was in Waterworld, The Shawshank Redemption, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, Part 2. We have Ray Oliver playing Dr. Death.
Shut up.
A.K.A. John Bishop, who's a voodoo priest and my personal icon. Forbidden World and Private Benjamin were two of the movies he was in otherwise. And then we have Jack Colvin rounding out the people who have prominent roles in the movie, at least, playing Dr. Ardmore, who's the psychiatrist, Doubting Thomas in the movie. And he was in Jeremiah Johnson and the TV shows, and a bunch of TV shows, including The Incredible Hulk.
Reverend, if you had to analyze a kid that was so convinced a doll was killing his family, how would you feel?
I wouldn't be a dick like this guy was.
Yeah. Oh, God. There was multiple Dr. Dicks in the series.
Yeah, there was a ton of them, yeah. And not only that, but everybody around Andy, basically.
Yes.
Like, nobody believes him. I mean, to be fair, it is a crazy thing what he tries to claim, but I mean, at the same time, the sincerity of what he's claiming, if nothing else, people should be more sympathetic instead of just saying you're a dumbass, shut up, particularly in Part 2. We'll get to that whenever we talk about the foster father in that movie, but
that guy was a dick.
Yeah. Synopsis for the first film. When the Lakeshore Strangler, Charles Lee Ray, is mortally wounded in a shootout with the police and left for dead by his accomplice, he resorts to voodoo to save his sorry soul from hell. In a spell taught to him by his mentor, Dr. Death, no relation to me, unfortunately, Charles transfers his soul to the body of a good guy doll. Meanwhile, it is Andy Barclay's birthday, and all he wants from his overworked widower mother is a good guy doll. Fate or bad luck intervenes, and Andy, as well as the audience, is introduced to Chucky, your friend till the end.
Heidi-ho, ha ha ha.
Bodies drop out of apartment buildings, old partners are blown the fuck up, and no one believes you when you're a kid. Something's moved in with the Barclay family, and so has terror.
I'm just a kid, and life is a nightmare.
That's a really good song choice for this,
Oh,
honestly.
my God.
Body count's a respectable 6 for this first film.
Get it, Chucky.
Charles Lee Ray himself is shot twice, bled out, and does the soul switcheroo. Maggie Peterson has a hammer to the face, and then it falls many stories onto a truck.
That's my favorite death.
We'll get to it, but I'm pretty sure it's mine too.
Yeah.
If not for one, we'll get to in just a second. Eddie Caputo is incinerated in a house explosion. John Bishop dies via voodoo, leg and arm broken and stabbed in the heart. Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah.
Dr. Ardmore is slashed in the back of the leg and electrocuted. Not bad either.
Yeah.
But here's my favorite, Chucky. Good God, that doll takes a lot of before it dies.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's like a zombie.
Yeah, like I'll tell you what it reminded me of, and I told this to Cody whenever I was talking to him about all this. It reminded me of the Terminator, like when he's coming down the hallway and she just keeps shooting and like he just keeps walking, and whatever's left. I'm like, they took this from the Terminator.
Okay, wait a second. Am I recalling correctly that the longer he stays in the body, obviously he's eventually gonna be stuck in there forever, but he becomes more human in the body?
Yes.
Okay.
Little known fact that a lot of people don't realize until you notice it. They actually visually represent it in the movie. He starts out as a good guy doll with the standard looks and all that, and the longer he stays in the body, they change the doll to the point at the end of it, he's got the widow peak to where he more looks like what he did when he was alive.
Okay, that makes sense.
Also, this is in the trivia, and I love this fact. You know why they gave him the widow peak?
Why?
They wanted him to look like Jack Nicholson from The Shining.
Amazing job. Oh my God.
And it looks like it. It really
so
does.
Good. Oh, damn.
All right. Quotes from this movie. This is my favorite line in this fucking movie, and I wait for it every time, and I'm giddy every time I see it. Karen it's the point in the movie where she's finally on board with Andy. She's checking things out. So she's like, I said, talk to me, damn it. Chucky gives no answer. All right, I'll make you talk. This is after she's discovered the batteries, by the way, that have not been in him. So Karen grabs Chucky, lights up the fireplace, and holds Chucky near the fire. Karen Barclay, I said, talk to me, damn it, or else I'm going to throw you in the fire. And then Chucky comes alive and starts saying, this is my favorite part, you stupid bitch, you filthy slut, I'll teach you to fuck with me.
Dude, I fucking love that.
There is no point in this movie where, before this, that he's the traditional Chucky that we know him later on. This line, it kills me. The way he's moving, the way that he like says it, I love it. I love everything about it.
It's both horrific and comedic at the same time.
It is, but that's the move. That's Chucky. That's how he is. Of course, Chucky. Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?
No, thank you.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend till the end. Howdy ho. Lucy, ugly doll, and then Chucky as the elevator rises up.
Fuck you. Oh,
I love that.
Okay.
I love it so much.
I was a sweet, innocent child. So I was 6 years old in the theater watching this, and my Catholic raised ass was appalled. Dad, did you hear what he said? Yeah, he's also gonna fuck some people up in a minute. Chill out, Raina.
Chucky, Karen opens Chucky's battery slot and finds out there's no batteries in the doll. Hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play?
And then she screams and tosses it.
That's actually a creepy line, though. The way that they do it in the movie. This first movie plays the horror up more than the other ones do. And that's actually an effective scene. I got to give them credit for.
Oh, that was so good. But I would have had the same reaction she did.
Chucky, hello, John. Over here. Hi, it's me, Chucky. What do you think? The Gregory work? You know, when I came here learning that stuff about how to cheat death, I thought maybe you were pulling my chain, but not now. Not now. Only one problem. And then Dr. Death responds, what? And Chucky's like, this. I didn't think anybody could hurt me, but last night I got shot, and you know something? It hurt. It hurt like a son of a bitch. It even bled. Why is that, John? And then Dr. Death reveals the big moment. You're turning human. And that's whenever we realize that Chucky is, actually, there's a flaw to him that, can be exploited.
Yes.
And he responds back in shock. What? And then Dr. Death is like, the more time you spend in the body, the more human you become. And then Chucky's like, you mean I have to live out the rest of my life in this body? No fucking way. Chucky, as Andy places Chucky in the fireplace and gets ready to light it up. No, Andy, no. And then there's a pause, and then Chucky, we're friends till the end, remember? He goes back to the the childlike voice.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite line from Andy. This is the end, friend. And then he sets fire to Chucky.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. That's good, like, comeback. Other taglines for this movie: no one believes the truth or lives to tell it. He wants you for a new best friend. Mm-hmm. Chucky did it.
Okay, I like that. Not gonna lie.
This one's pretty on the nose. When people have nightmares, they dream of Freddy. When Freddy has nightmares, he dreams of Chucky.
That's crazy.
You'll wish it was only make-believe.
Yeah. Okay.
Andy Barclay has a new playmate who's in no mood to play.
We didn't need the last name.
This doll is killer. Chucky is one mean SOB.
Oh my God. You know what somebody needs to do? They need to make a meme where they have like Andy's name written on the bottom of Chucky's shoe. Like Toy Story.
Just like Toy Story.
Yeah.
All right, visually, this movie is fucking great.
Yes.
It really is. The dark scenes, like the way Tom Holland, like, I mean, this is a legit movie. Like when you're watching it, like he put a lot of effort in this fucking, like this could have been like, you know, you hear the story, like you hear the plot point. It's like, this is a, you know, possessed doll. It's like, okay. Or, you know, that's fine. But you think Dolly Dearest is what you get out of it.
Yeah.
You know, like that general. No, this is a fucking legit movie. Like the way that they film the scenes, that one scene in particular, like I said, where the batteries drop out and then Chucky says, want to play. And it's like, oh shit. You know, like, and, the way that the doll looks like, I mean, you know, that puppeteering that they did in this movie. I mean, Kevin Yeager did an amazing job with the Chucky puppet.
Yeah.
I mean, and even the scenes that are a little janky where they have Ed Gale running around and you can tell it's a little person in the background, they've cut away from them just enough to where they're not cheesy. They're fun to watch.
I have a confession to make. I always thought this was great puppeteering. I honestly didn't know there was a tiny person playing Chucky, so I am very naive, blissfully oblivious, you know?
But what do you think about the visuals? I mean, I love them. I think it's a good movie.
I thought that the way that they shot the film was just amazing in terms of, yes, like you just said, showing just enough of Chucky that you're horrified. It doesn't look, it felt so real. This movie felt so real, and I think that's what made Chucky so iconic, is that it made you feel like this could really happen. Like it is so bad that my evil spawn of children, they want a good guy doll. They think it would be hilarious to have one in the house, and I fucking refuse. I absolutely refuse. I'm good.
It's funny you say that, because the reason that they everybody who's in Don Mancini's, like, you know, inner circle that's been with him for all these movies, say that they never want, they don't like the idea of a CGI Chucky because it takes away from the realness of the character.
Yeah,
that's why they like the puppet, because, you know, the way the light hits him, the way, you know, it looks like a real doll.
Yeah.
Know?
No, I agree with you. They did an amazing job.
Yeah. I actually like the story of the movie. I like
it.
As far as an origin for a slasher to take an existing serial killer, you know, the Lakeshore Strangler, have him transfer his soul last second into a doll. It gives you Nightmare on Elm Street vibes, like, you know, how, you know, Freddy came back, but in a different way. And I love you also have a character who's chatty, you know, like, you know, Robert Englund was, and as Freddy.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you know, Chucky, I mean, he has some of the best lines of any slasher, like, period.
He does. I just, I know we're not going to discuss this particular, the show, but fucking Bride of Chucky.
When we get to Bride of Chucky, I'm going to definitely have, because I love some of the lines in
that
movie.
That one was
great.
Yeah.
And watching Jennifer Tilly.
Oh God.
I'm just saying. But yeah, story wise, I mean, it's a classic story, but they do it right. Like the mom's a widower, so you got some sympathy for her there.
Yeah.
She's just trying her best to, like, you know, give her son, like, the best, like that she can. And then, like, you know, she
bought a bootleg Chucky. This is what happens when you get your Chuckies off of Wish.
Yeah, well, that's true, but at the same time, I mean, it was, you know, the best way that she could make his birthday special. You know? The kid, you know, great child actor, Alex Vincent. You have, I mean, nobody believing him, because nobody believes kids, especially whenever they, you know, are saying shit like this. It's like, and then, you know, and the mom, at first thinks it's just the fact that all the stuff that he's been through with the death of her like best friend and I guess the death of the dad or whatever, that he's like the reason he keeps saying all this like horror, because they actually get Alex Vincent to say some shit. It's like Chucky said that she needed to die because she was a bitch or something like that's the line in the movie. And it's like, the mom hears that and she's like, I don't know what's happening to my son. Like they're, like he's going down a dark path. And so you have empathy toward her as like the mother, but at the same time you're with us, you seeing from out, Andy's like side of it. And you're just like, fuck, I mean, this kid has no hope because nobody believes him, nobody.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that because I remember telling my parents this one time I had seen something come from the kitchen into the living room. It had scared I had gone into the kitchen to get something late at night at Grandma Beans' house and saw something in there. And I remember being so terrified and running back to my blanket, hiding under my blanket. I guess I was also I don't remember this particular monster, but I also remember having, I guess allegedly at some point I was having horrible night terrors about a troll type monster. And what my dad said, to this day, I will never forget, he said, my daughter was at that age where she's not lying. So he was scared. And I was like, you would never in a movie get that from a parent.
Well, I wouldn't have got that in real life either because my dad was just one of those types. Like, he didn't believe in that stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, if you told him that, he'd be like...
Well, as far as I know, my dad didn't believe in that either, but he believed me. So they were like, we got to find a way to help her.
Yeah, I mean... my dad would have probably looked at that, and I mean, and believe me, I loved him to death. But like, it's one of those things where he would have looked at it and he said, "I believe you think you saw that, but it's not real. So you're
go
fine,
back to bed, son, and keep the door closed. We don't want the monster coming to get us."
Yeah, but I mean, that's what makes the movie like resonate is because there really is something there. I mean, with the kids, like nobody believes them, like
Yeah.
And then
it's
they
so
work
sad.
I like the angle they worked in with Chris Sarandon too, because like having him like still tracking, like, these murders that are, like, because he was the one that shot down Charles Lee Ray.
Yes.
Like, I mean, it makes it. He is a very good part in this movie. Like, at first you're like, I don't want this dick. He's just being a dick to Andy, like, but as he comes around in the movie, it's like he actually plays a pretty significant hero part in the film that I like.
For sure. He's a pretty handsome old devil too.
Well, the reason he's the suave, vampire in Fright Night.
Yes.
That's because that's how he was. There's really not a part of the story that I don't think works. Like, I even like the ending of it, the Terminator scene where they're just like having to stand off with Chucky as he's coming after him. I mean, the whole thing, it's Tom Holland did a great job in this film. That's all I can say when it comes to that.
No, definitely.
Is there any acting in the movie that you felt like was subpar? I can't really remember any, to be honest with you.
I mean, there were side characters that died super fast, but they served a purpose. They died. So, because I don't really think the friend was a significant part of the film. I think she was kind of annoying. And so it's probably why she was my favorite death, flying out of the fucking apartment.
You could maybe make the argument that the psychiatrist that was that locked Andy up is a little over the top. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It's not, when you got a movie about a killer doll, like, I mean, when you have a little bit of over the top, it still is within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're already suspending your disbelief. I mean,
no, especially for the time when you could have cheap acting and it wouldn't have made a huge difference. I think they did a really good job with each character, and each character serving a pretty decent person. Excuse me, I'm speaking way too fast. Serving a decent purpose in the film.
Yeah, even the probably the one character that I'd say probably the weakest is the actor who did who was like the partner to Chris Sarandon's detective. The one that was following him around.
He is forgettable.
But he's forgettable. But even at the end of it, like, he's not terrible. Like, he's not so bad or wooden like the dad is in Dolly Dearest, for instance. Yeah, it stands out. It's just like, no, he was just enough to where he blended in. That's I mean, so it's fine. I mean, nothing bad there. And then the music. I mean, this series has some good. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like part 2 has better music because it's got that childlike quality to it.
That's true. Yeah.
But this one's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
A lot of
for what
high
it is.
tension out of the music in this one.
Yeah, a good orchestra type
Yes.
score to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Trivia, because we can discuss more about the movie when we get down to the awards. David Kirshner, the producer, read The Dollhouse Murders while in England and wanted to produce an Evil Doll film upon his return to the U.S. It just so happens that his wife had, let him know this because she noticed it. That 6 weeks earlier, Don Mancini had been trying to sell a script for an Evil Doll movie called Bloody Buddy.
Buddy.
Blood Buddy.
Oh, there was a good snort.
It was the script though that would become the Child's Play movie.
Nice. That's weird how shit like that works out.
The original working title for the film was Batteries Not Included before it became known Steven Spielberg was also making a film with that title. And then it changed to Blood Buddy, and then they settled on Child's Play.
I was about to say, wasn't there a film called Batteries Not Included? Okay, you touched that.
But Batteries Not Included would make sense for this movie, given the big twist.
That would be a good horror. Man, I kind of wish now that Child's Play had been Batteries Not Included.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really hurt if they would have lost the Child's Play name because they only kept it for the first 3 movies, and then it was Chucky because they realized that Chucky sold the movie and not the title Child, so they just named all the rest of them something Chucky. Or,
Bride of Chucky or Son of Chucky. Son of a... No, I'm just kidding.
Chucky's full name, Charles Lee Ray, is derived from the names of notorious killers Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and James Earl Ray.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome.
Don Mancini gave Chucky red hair because in old fairy tales, gingers were evil, and he literally says this.
Yeah, okay.
He says that he doesn't feel like gingers in real life are evil,
Uh-huh.
but in all the old fairy tales they were.
You soul-sucking motherfucker.
And just like I said, they originally conceived him to have more of a bowl cut, but the receding hairline was given to make him look like Jack Nicholson, which is cool.
Yeah, I think that was a good plan.
And they play into that in Seed of Chucky because there's a scene where there's a busted, part of a door. He looks through it just like Jack Nicholson, and he's like, I think I should say something right now, like to, kind of hint that he, should use that line from the movie, but he doesn't. Don Mancini took an acting class at Columbia University that was taught by Brad Dourif, and it just so happens that Tom Holland had cast him. Had cast Brad right before Don Mancini, realized that he had and got to, reintroduce him. But like Don Mancini and Brad Dourif had been, had met this way years earlier.
That's fucking wild. What a reunion. Hey, bro, you used to teach me.
Yeah, you used to teach me. Now you're playing the evil doll that I wrote about while I was in college.
That's awesome.
Dorff says that Chucky is way more famous than him.
Yes.
And that's not inaccurate. But he has fun playing the character. He made this statement, and it's pretty profound, and it's kind of dark at the same time. He says that it's not hard for him to tap into playing Chucky because he says he thinks about the potential for evil that every human being has inside of them, and he just expresses it when he's playing Chucky.
Damn.
That's pretty deep and dark at the same time. I mean,
not false, but damn.
He actually scared his daughter when he was doing the voice work for the fireplace scene. She happened to be on set at the time that he started screaming, and she ran away from the voice booth and out into the parking lot before they caught her.
Wow.
She thought her daddy was dying. That's how strong his, his acting was in that scene for her, at least.
Awesome. Fucking core memory.
Catherine Hicks, who played Karen, and Kevin Yeager, Chucky's creator, met on the set and were married a year later.
Bound chicka, wow, wow. Damn. I wonder if Chucky was at the wedding.
That would have been funny if he had been.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because this is the first time that a actress in a scary movie or horror film married a special effects guy. That's Heather Langenkamp.
Yes.
Remember, she was married to
that has to be so fun, unless you're like not into horror, because you hear about all these actors and actresses that they're in horror films but they're not into horror. But like for me, if I had that kind of, well, obviously my husband is buying me props now from people who are doing things like that, which is awesome. That's the thing, is like if I lived with a horror FX creator, that'd be so fucking fun.
You wouldn't have to go out and spend all that money to have a 12-foot skelly or
he
whatever.
He could make me one.
Yeah, and probably make one that was better, to be honest.
Okay, you know what? Don't talk about R. Skelly. Don't disrespect R. Skelly like that. It was supposed to be
he's the one that was out there pissing on people. That's all I'm going to say.
That's R. Kelly. R. Skelly is a way better being than R. Kelly ever will be. So
okay,
he ain't going to be pissing on no children.
I don't think they'll hold up in court, but you can say your point. Don Mancini had a lot of respect for Alex Vincent as a child actor. Alex was actually critiquing the dialogue choices in the script as he was going along.
Wow.
And he had everybody's parts memorized.
Wow.
That's how smart this kid was.
There was another child actor like that. Oh yeah. What's his name? Corey.
Haley Joel Osment did that.
Oh, Haley Joel. Okay, my bad. I thought it was Corey. What's his name?
Feldman.
It wasn't. Well, wait. Corey was pretty decent like that, but I think you're right. It was Haley Joel.
Yeah, Corey was decent like that, but Haley Joel Osment had the same thing that Alex Fit. So I think some of these child actors, I think it's just they all have that similar thing about them. Like the really good ones are like brilliant about like picking stuff like this up.
If they're not careful, some directors might think that they're mature for their age, so they got to watch it.
Yeah, sadly in Hollywood, that's a big problem. In the scene where Chucky runs behind Maggie in the hallway, Chucky was actually played by Alex Vincent's younger sister.
Wait. Say that again?
In the scene where Chucky runs behind Maggie in the hallway, Chucky was actually played by Alex Vincent's younger sister.
That's wow. So the doll chasing him in the hallway was his sister?
Chasing Maggie whenever like she, like running behind her before she gets pushed out or whatever.
Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, the film uses various ways to portray Chucky, including RC animatronics and little people or child actors. Various animatronics and cosmetics were used for every scene throughout the movie. Chucky's cosmetics transition from looking toy-like to more human-like, like I said.
Yeah.
The film created multiple Chucky animatronics, such as a flailing tantrum Chucky, a walking Chucky, and a stationary Chucky. Flailing tantrum Chucky's my favorite.
That one's my favorite, too.
That's just kicking and like wobbling around. The animatronic's face was controlled by remote control through a rig that goes on one's face and captures facial movement.
Oh, that's fucking
pretty cool.
Sick. In the 80s? Damn.
And I don't think I have this in there, but Brad Dourif actually wasn't on set, so they had to they would ADR in his lines later, but like basically they would say whatever line he was going to say to kind of get the the puppet to mimic what he was saying. But like he was up until Curse, he was always out at a sound, but he was never on set to actually see Chucky in action. And the only reason that he comes back for Curse when we get to that is because his daughter is in that, and he wanted to spend time with her while she was filming.
That's so cute.
They actually have a really good relationship with each other. Like they were filming together on that Living with Chucky documentary, and it's actually pretty wholesome, even though it's Chucky, or at least the voice of Chucky. Like seeing the two of them, and like you could tell he's so proud of his daughter. Like and like it's pretty heartwarming.
That's adorable.
I gotta admit.
I love it.
In a timely bit of coincidence, at least for today's time, Don Mancini wasn't on set for much of the filming of this because he was participating in a writer's strike.
Wow.
Kirshner invited him to the set when the strike ended so he could see the film in progress.
Aww.
And he said that was pretty nice. He appreciated Kirshner because they didn't have to do that, but they would make sure he was involved in it. Death Holler Awards. What do we think of our final girl / Nope, this boy in this movie, Andy Barclay.
He is a survivor, and nobody fucking believed him. So the fact that he was able to survive, fucking get it, kid.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, if we're gonna go with we've always critiqued these based upon like the standard tropes of a final girl. Like Andy definitely stands his own. I mean, he did set fire to Chucky. I mean, even if that was his mom had to end up ultimately killing Chucky.
Yeah.
She shot him once. The detective shot him another time, and then I think the final kill was maybe that. If I'm remembering right, was maybe that Chris Sarandon's like partner or whatever might have been the one that got the final kill in on him, or Sarandon shot. I can't remember in that final scene. It might have been Sarandon, but I mean, you can't really take that away from Andy because he's a fucking kid. Like, I mean, like he at least set Chucky on fire. He did attack the killer.
He's not just a kid too. He's a little kid, and even in the second film, he's still a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, he's really young in this, though. I mean, like I mean, there's a little bit. I mean, there's more. He's more capable in the second movie, but like, I mean, he's really little. In
in the second film, he's seen some shit.
Yeah, he's got a bad life going on in the second one.
Yeah.
What do we think of our slasher, Chucky?
Oh my God! In terms of slashers, he is the ultimate because he's a toy slasher.
I love Chucky. He takes the nonstop try to kill you attitude of Jason, but he has the won't shut up, has some of the best lines you'll ever hear from Freddy. Like, he's the best of both, like, in a way. And he's also the most human of all the slashers because, like, as we get along in the series, I mean, introduced in Bride, he has very it's even introduced in Child's Play 3. He has very human needs.
Yes. Oh God. No.
So Chucky's way more relatable than some of the other slashers when it comes to that. What best kill? You have obviously said whatever the friend falls out of the window.
Yes,
and I can't. That's a good scene.
She got her world fucked up.
Yeah, she got hit in the head with a hammer, falls back, and it just like, and the way that she slams down on that car is so brutal. Like, it's like they don't mince anything with that scene. Like, she just slams into it. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm probably going to pick how Chucky dies in a lot of these movies because they fucking go out of their way to make his death the best thing ever in these movies. Like, this one especially, like, he gets set on fire. He gets every appendage blown off by a gun.
Yeah.
He gets shot through the heart. And you're
shot
to blame.
Through the heart.
You do give love a bad name. But yeah, he's like a Terminator in this movie. I love it. I love how he dies. And then the Dr. Death say we will probably, I mean, outside of like some really cheesy slashers, we will probably never see another voodoo death like we did in this one. So I gotta give props to that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's pretty cool seeing Chucky just stab the voodoo doll in it or make it like snap legs and arms and all that stuff. And that's one thing I like about Chucky's kills. Yes, he kills with a knife, but he kills in other ways in these movies, and they're inventive. They're not like the standard. Like Scream, it gets a little old. It's like, yeah, they got stabbed. That person got stabbed. That person got the throat slashed. But with Chucky, you get a little bit extra. You get a little bit of some other stuff going on.
Well, the problem is not the problem. The thing that works the most in this film is that he is an actual serial killer, and he's having fun doing it. And I think it's the fact that he's having fun with it that makes it so good, unfortunately, for us sickos that are watching this and enjoying watching him.
I'm glad you brought that up because I mentioned this to Cody. My favorite thing about Brad Dourif's delivery of the lines as Chucky is the fact that he does it in a menacing way, but with enough humor and playfulness to it that it fits perfectly. It's like, I mean, yes, he's not like, I mean, there's nothing like cuddly or nice about the way they delivers stuff, but like there's joy in the way that he says it in a way that just like it's fun. Like, that's the way to describe it for me. And then you're right. Whenever he goes to kill people, he just delights in it. So he does whatever is like the best way. If it's just put a bag over their head, hey, that's how he killed a lot of people when he was alive. So I mean, it goes to the old standard, you know. I mean, you strangle them to death. I got to throw this in here because these movies don't really have boobs. Well, when we get to it, to Bride, I mean, they're not really shown. Boo. But, I mean, there's a lot of boobage going on when Jennifer Tilly comes around.
Oh, my God.
But Child's Play doesn't have that, you know, the first 3 films. So I've added in here another award for these movies. The creepiest line that's taken out of context. And this one is bad. I've got a date with a 6-year-old kid when he's talking to Dr. Death. I mean, it makes sense in the context of the movie, but you take it out of that movie in the way that it's, no.
You stop that right now.
Best side character, Dr. Death. I mean, obviously, I got to give it to him. I mean, you know, Reverend Dr. Death, mad props.
Of course you're going to. Yeah, I can't dispute that.
The Franklin Award, I'm gonna give to Jack Santos, Mike Norris's partner, because at no point in this Mike Norris redeems himself. He becomes a guy that you actually like. You want to see him become Andy's like new stepdad. It's you know, toward the end of the movie. Jack Santos, he's just he not only does he blend in the scenes, but he's also annoying as fuck whenever he is there. So I mean, it's a bad combination. He definitely deserves the Franklin Award, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else you would give it to? Maybe the doctor, the psychiatric ward.
No. I'm giving it to Jack Santos as well.
Okay. How annoying is the Doom Prophet? It's obviously Andy because he tells everybody that Chucky is the one that did it, and
Chucky
nobody believes him.
it.
And we can't even feel. I mean, we can't say he's annoying because the poor kid's just trying his hardest to get somebody to believe him, and nobody will.
Yeah.
Dumbest moment, Mama Barclay for not trying to hit Chucky in the heart after she is the one that told Chris Sarandon's character that you had to shoot him in the heart. She knew it the entire time. Why the fuck was she shooting his arms off?
Yeah.
And his legs and everything. You know how hard it is to hit an arm on like a doll his size? Like center chest, she would have been a lot easier to shoot. Like, I mean, I want to know what gun range she's been going to, because that woman can fucking shoot. Like, she's damn good.
Glad you brought that up, Reverend, because I was told during my first safety training on shooting that women are naturally pretty decent shooters because they have a way of calming themselves down and lowering their heart rate or something like that. Some random bullshit like that. We found out real fast that I could shoot lemons deadly accurate from a pretty far range. And the person teaching me at the time was like, well, if you could shoot lemons, you can shoot people.
That's pretty common, actually. There's a lot of women that shoot better than guys when they first start out.
Oh yeah, the hubby was although the hubby was proud of me. It's very disheartening to see that when you're like, I've been doing this for how long now, and she comes out here for the first fucking time, and she's fucking demolishing fucking lemons.
You know what I think it is? I mean, and it goes what you're saying. I think guys get bigger adrenaline dumps than women do.
That's true. I'll be honest with you. It was my first lesson, and I was terrified. Which is in more of a respect the gun kind of way, not I don't want to hold a gun. It's more of a, hey, this gun can fuck somebody up. I'm scared, but I'm going to take it serious.
But the thing that I would bring up about her is, I mean, she's that good of a shot that she's shooting off limbs. Mm-hmm. Why not shoot him in the heart? Because you have been told that was the Dr. Death's like last thing to you is to shoot him in the heart. So like that. I mean, I'm gonna give her dumbest moment because she could have taken out Chucky way earlier. Yeah, but we get more of a satisfying movie because of it.
What happens if you shoot him in the brain, though? What's up with the heart first? Like, is that developed first and then the brain?
Well, two things about it. In part 2 on, he's got a metal head, if you remember, because when they remade Chucky, they put like his whole head's made out of metal. It wouldn't apply to this movie, so that's fine. But I think there's like it's implied that like the heart is like the connection to the soul somehow. Okay. So like that's the one way to get rid of it.
All right, I'll give you that.
I like this movie. I think
Yeah.
for part one, it does a really good job. It's not as good as maybe Nightmare was right off the bat from part one of it, but it's a damn good start to a series.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that. It was, if they had not done another Chucky, which thankfully they did after this, although I think they went a little too far, but whatever. If they had not, I think that they did a really good job with this movie, introducing a scary, I think he still would have been iconic.
Yeah, if they did nothing else, he would have stood out.
Yeah.
You're 100%. Yeah. Anything else we want to say about this one before we let it go for this episode and then pick back up for the parts 2 and 3 on the next one?
I don't think I have anything. I think I'm ready to move on.
All righty. Well, peace be with you.
And with your spirit.